uh, mortal techniques. I'll take Peter Tosh, just out of the blue. Peter Tosh. And there are several others, right? And this is just the media, right? What you are doing with these type of artists, you're not injecting the reptilian brain. Well, I wouldn't say with motor techniques, you are engaging the reptilian brain, to be honest with you. They're kind of under, but you're not in here, you're not engaging the reptilian brain. What you're engaging is the emotional. What you're engaging, especially with arts like Bob Marley, is the emotional brain. Right? And it's not an emotional brain between a love between a man and a woman, but it's also an emotional brain between a love between a man and another man. And I don't mean homosexual love, I'm talking about brotherly love, okay? Now, in this engagement, in emotional love, in emotional brain, what you're going to create is a socialistic society. Oh my spellings. You're going to create a socialistic society, right? Because everyone is going to be aware of their actions to the next person. Everyone is going to be consciously connected with their actions and the effect of their actions to the next person. Now, that is if the media produces more artists such as Bob Marley and others along those same lines, Sam Cooke and the rest. Now, if you are producing now people who you don't want them to operate on the emotional brain and you want them to operate on the reptilian brain, what you actually do is that you engage them on the survival and reproductive part, and you engage the aspects that the reptilian brain would recognize quickly, very quickly, with no hesitation. And one of them is status and hierarchy. Status and hierarchy. The brain will connect them. It can. So if the brain can realize what status and hierarchy is, then the brain is now the reptilian brain is now given saying, okay, what are the symbols of, I'll say SNH, status and hierarchy. What are the symbols of SNH? Right? What are the symbols of status and hierarchy? And you quickly realize that the symbols of status and hierarchy are really established by creating, I could talk on forever about this, creating perception of value. By creating perception of value. Now, perception of value, oh boy, is reflected if it's on a male's counterpart, on a male looking onward towards a male perspective, looking at things from a female reflection, right? So a male looking out in his reflection is going to be female, right? From a male looking outwards, male perception, status of hierarchy is established by status of hierarchy. For a male, the status of hierarchy is established by the number of females around a male the number of females around a male with particular values or attributes. So it comes up like this. So the number of females around a male with particular values and attributes. So if the reptilian brain recognizes that a man who has a Rolls Royce, a man who has gold watch, a man who is a gangbanger, in the hood, a man who is a gangbanger in the hood is desirable. Then the reptilian brain would recognize this, and when the reptilian brain recognizes it, will further then engage the neocortex on trying to achieve it, bypassing the emotion. Or in fact, the logical way it works out, right? It's basically you engage the reptilian brain. The reptilian brain, it forces the emotional brain to create the emotions, to force the neocortex to devise strategies on achieving its own particular outcome, instead of the other way around, where if you engage the emotional brain, then the emotional brain engages the neocortex, because the judgment is coming from the emotional brain, so that when it happens, then the reptilian brain would engage the neocortex to achieve the achievements of the requirements desired by the emotional brain. These all work in simultaneous. All these brains work in simultaneous coordination, right? Sometimes the order might change, but they work in such synchronicity and complexity that it's hard for just anyone just to grasp the concept of brain. I mean, the brain will be studied forever, to be honest with you. There's no way we can fully understand the brain. And I think it's bullshit that we only use